Hello beautiful world, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Julie and I've got 3 daughters. My channel is all about beauty, motherhood, cleaning, all about my life. So if you like those kind of videos, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. And if you are subscribed already, thank you so much. I always say the same, but I really appreciate it. This video is gonna be about my breastfeeding experience with my 3 daughters. It hasn't been easy and it was really bumpy. With my first daughter, which is now 5, my breastfeeding story was quite challenging. First of all, nobody told me how hard and difficult could be, and also very painful. She was born in the evening, so I spent the night in the hospital because I had an epidural. So she was attached to my boob the whole night. She didn't let me put her down. I think it's because with the epidural I couldn't eat anything and I didn't really eat much, so she probably was really hungry. At that point it was fine, her latch was fine, I felt quite good with it. The following days I started to develop a lot of pain in my breast, so the midwife recommended me some nipple cream, which I never knew about. Nobody told me about nipple cream or anything at all, so my breasts were starting to be quite sore at that point. So I put the cream and I think it was a bit too late because they were already kind of breaking up. My breasts soon started to be really extremely sore and cracked. The pain was so excruciating. She was latched properly, it was no problem with the latch whatsoever. She wasn't tongue-tied at all. Every time it was time to feed her, I was in a panic state. I didn't want to put her in my breast. I was like really anxious, really scared, really painful, crying in tears. So it was kind of like a nightmare, like, oh my god, it's time to breastfeed and I can't do it, it's too painful. And I was kind of like putting her in my breast, but kind of like being like like that, so scared, like every time, like it just made me jump. My mom and sister were here at that moment and they suggested to put some nipple shields, so I went ahead and bought them. It did really ease the pain and it allowed my breast to heal. The only problem with it, my experience, was my milk got really weak. Because she wasn't touching skin to skin or feeding skin to skin, my milk started to be really weak and really clear. It didn't fill her up as much as it should be, and I had to give her a bottle straight after feed, which it made me really stressed, and also the baby was really stressed as well because she wasn't satisfied. She was in the breast for a long period of time, and straight after she just cried and cried because she was so hungry, but my milk wasn't there anymore. So when my breasts were healed, I wanted to put her back on the breast to get that milk supply back on. The only problem is she will not latch. She will not get my skin. She will not get the nipple. She was just really stressed and really anxious. She was like that with the mouth. I went to the doctor for a little bit of advice, like should I continue with breastfeeding and straight after giving her a bottle. And he could see my feelings. I was feeling really depressed and really low at that moment because I couldn't give her what she needed. And obviously I had to spend the time breastfeeding her for like maybe an hour and then a bottle straight after. The baby wasn't happy at all, I wasn't happy at all, so he suggested to stop breastfeeding. I've done it for 8 weeks and that's better than nothing. I actually felt really sad but really relieved that she was gonna be happy and I was gonna be happy. The most important thing was that she was fed and full and content. With my second girl, everything was completely different. I was experienced kind of like I had the horrible experience before her, so this time I was thinking, right, I'm gonna try to do it right this time because I really want to breastfeed and I know I can. I started putting the nipple cream like a month before she was born because I was thinking if my skin is stronger and it's like heat rotated and it's gonna be like more elastic. The baby won't damage my breast as much as my first baby did. I feel like it made a lot of difference because first of all I knew how will it be like. I was mentally prepared to face that situation, in which before I didn't have any kind of information. I didn't even know. I thought it would be like just a walk in the park, you know, and it will be so easy and that, because everyone said that breastfeeding is the best feeling in the world, it's the best thing, you feel so happy, you feel so relieved, but yeah, you have to go through the first state, which is really hard and difficult sometimes. Many women have the amazing experience from the beginning, but a lot more women have the experience of pain and being really hard, especially if you are a first-time mom. With my second baby, my breast obviously got a little bit sore, but only a little bit, and that really went away really fast. I felt really confident and really happy doing it. I done it the right way, and I tried like many positions, and like I had my breast heat rotated since the beginning. So the experience, the second time experience was amazing. She latched properly since the beginning. It was no problem, not tongue tie, nothing. She was feeling like 10 minutes each breast, and she will be super content and last like 3 to 4 hours it's in every feed. She was so happy. I was so happy I could do it, and I actually done it for up to a year, and I would have continued, but she decided she didn't want to go through more, and that actually made me really sad and really like, oh come on, this time I can do it and I want to continue doing it. But the baby was like, okay, kind of like being independent, like I don't need my mom anymore, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to continue. But obviously she was so happy and I couldn't just force her to be in my breast when she didn't want to, so I had to stop. But I was so happy with myself that I could do it. With my third child, my experience was completely different. She's now 1 month and a few days. Obviously, after having the second time experience, I was feeling so confident, like it will be exactly the same, it will be so easy, and it will be just amazing again. I also put the nipple cream on my nipples before she was born. When she was born, I put her on my boob. She got it straight away, no problem whatsoever. They checked for tongue tie, she wasn't tongue tied, it was perfectly latched, and all was just perfect. The only thing that at the beginning really was stressful for me is my milk didn't come till day 5. I've done a video on my first week postpartum, which it was quite hard this time around, and I will link it down below in case you would like to watch it. Maybe it will help you if you're going through similar situation and having some baby blues. So yeah, my milk didn't come to day 5 in the morning, and at that point my nipples were quite sore because she only had the colostrum and she was attached to my boob for really long periods of time, meaning she was attached to my boob nearly 24 hours a day for 4 full days. I was absolutely exhausted, and my boobs started to feel in it as well. They were starting to be really sore and painful. From day 5, when my milk came, it seemed it will be like better. The pain kind of like eased a little bit, but after a day, suddenly the pain just came back and it started to be more painful each time I fed, to the point that she really made my left boob bleed. And again, that excruciating pain came back. I did some research and I watched some videos in YouTube of like breastfeeding and breastfeeding problems, and I found that my baby wasn't opening the mouth as she should be. So she was only getting the nipple instead of getting the areola as well. She couldn't open the mouth wide enough to get the whole thing. So obviously she was making my nipples more sore each time. Each time she fed, it was just like really sore. And also she was attached to my boob for like an hour at a time, or even more sometimes. I tried so many different positions, again like my first time, and trying to like wide open her mouth and attaching her and detaching her so many times for her to open the mouth wide enough, but she will not open the mouth wide enough. The midwife again searched for tongue tie and see if it was like a problem with it. She wasn't tongue tied at all. It was only her mouth couldn't be open anymore. So after a lot of crying and feeling like a total failure and really guilty of not being able to breastfeed again, I decided to stop feeding her from the left side and only feeding her from one side and topping it up with a little bit of formula. So giving some time to my left boob to actually heal a little bit. But she very soon after started cracking the other boob and making it bleed as well. I could not take the pain. It was too excruciating. So much I could not handle it. So then I thought, okay, I'm gonna just pump the milk and giving her in the bottle. I got some special teats from the bottles that simulate the breast of the mom, and she took it really well. And I breast pump for like a couple of days, but the only reason I had to stop is because I never had like an amazing milk supply, only enough to feed her. And when I was pumping, I was only getting one feed every 2 feeds, and I could feel that my milk will weaken again. I just feel it. I knew that will happen because I could see the consistency of the milk, that every time I pumped it was like a little bit clearer. The anxiety and stress came back, and because of my mental health and also having 2 other children to care for, I decided to stop breastfeeding till my boobs heal, and then if I still had milk and I could breastfeed again, then try it again. So a few days go by and my boobs were so swollen because obviously I wasn't feeding, so my boobs were so full and so tender. They were a little bit healed, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna try only breastfeed at night. So if I could do that, I would be happy with it. If I don't feed her in the day, she will be formula feed in the day, and then in the night I will be give her my breast, so at least it's something. So I could do that for like a couple of nights, and then I just started to be really sore again. My breast started to feel really tender and bleeding again, so I gave it a try. I tried everything I could think of. I done so much research and it was not happening for me this time either. So I need to stop, and it was so hard to think I need to stop and formula feed her. I can't do anything else. I fed her for like about 20 days and then I had to stop. As hard and difficult that it was, I was thinking, right, the most important thing is that my baby is fed and is happy, and I am not stressed with anxiety, getting into like a little depression because I was just heading towards that direction, really beating myself up. As long as the baby is fed, happy, content and healthy is all that matters. The guilt was still there, but slowly kind of like just positive thinking and being like, I've done my best, I tried my best and it didn't work. Now I have to continue with something that I know is good for my baby as well. And you are not better mom for breastfeeding or for bottle feeding. You are the best mom you can be for your children, no matter what you do, how you feed them. As long as they fed, that's all that matters. My baby right now, she's so content, so happy, and I am really relieved of that stress and anxiety from the whole situation. So yeah, that was my breastfeeding journey with my 3 girls. It was completely, totally different each one, and I learned so many things from each one as well. I don't think I will have any more babies, but if in the future there is another baby, I will try my best again, and if I can, I can't, and that's it. It's not the end of the world. I hope you enjoyed this video and my experience help you, or maybe you are going through similar situation or you know somebody that is going through a similar situation. You can share this video with them if you like. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and if you are, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Like this video if you like it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I post every single day and I'm always in the stories. You can ask me questions there if you like. If you want to ask me a question in this video, please leave it down below. I will answer it as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching and I see you in my next video. Bye.